We gotta talk. Oh my goodness. So there is a saying that I have heard ad nauseum, and it's mainly on Black Twitter and online. I don't hear this a lot in real life, but the saying goes as follows. Black men protect black women. To which black men say yes and no. Now, before you start screaming and hollering, oh, he doesn't want to protect black men, you see, before you go down this path of misandry, let me explain a few things for some of you out there. There are some ground rules for protection. One thing we have to establish when it comes to protection is the group versus your man. Those are two different types of protection. Now, when it comes to good women, I don't even need to explain this to them because they were taught this when they were young, okay? They were taught this during their childhood where their parent would tell them, hey, don't do that. That's not what a lady does. Or, hey, don't say that. That's not what a lady says. That's not how a lady talks. Unfortunately, what I hear this saying from are women who had let's say, a problematic upbringing, okay? That's mainly what I hear this black men protect black women to use. They weaponize this to attack black men. I hear this mainly from women of a low caliber grade of lifestyle. It just is what it is. Now, if you didn't have a good upbringing, right? You didn't have a mother or a father to tell you, hey, this is what a lady does, this is what a lady says. I suggest you go get some mentorship by an actual black woman who can probably help you and train you. That's what I would do. So when it comes to your man and protection, there are prerequisites. First and foremost, you have to have a man. That's correct. And then when I mean by man, I don't mean a biological man, because there are a lot of biological men who are culturally a boy or who are culturally an ignorant. Those are two different things. Just because you are a biological man doesn't mean that you are in fact a man. They're not the same thing. Secondly, you have to be a woman. That's correct. Not a biological woman. That goes without saying, because there are a lot of biological women who are culturally little girls, who are culturally ignorant, as I call them. So that precludes you from any type of protection. If you have a confusion or you don't know what it means to be a man or a woman, you need to talk to your man or you need to talk to your woman and communicate, because every good man and every good woman understand that communication is key. So I understand not every shoe fits everyone. So you need to figure out what that means to your man, and you need to figure out what that means to your woman, because that's how that works. It's your man, his protection. You need to figure out what that means, what covers you and what doesn't cover you. This is practically insurance. That's what this is. What I mainly hear when it comes to these individuals is that they're referring to the group, men, black men as a whole. Hey, we need to protect women, black women. To which I say, we do. The only reason that some women may not feel that way, once again, is that they probably have a problematic upbringing. There probably wasn't any father, any good mother in the household. They just weren't raised properly. In some cases, no fault of their own, due to systemic issues, mainly targeted at black Americans. So there's that. However, that is not an excuse. So to perfectly explain this, in order for you to get protection from the group of black men, you already know there's going to have to be a prerequisite. That prerequisite, as I stated when it came to your man protecting you, is that you have to qualify as a woman. Not a biological woman, okay, because that's a very low bar, all right? You just born as a woman, you just get protection from the group. No. You have to qualify as a cultural woman. That's what you have to qualify as. Meaning, in certain cases, right, if you are in the wrong, you're not going to get protection. That's not how that works. If you are instigating a situation, if you are the one putting hands on someone, that is not how that works. All of that precludes you from getting protection from the group. Now, what I notice is that you have a vocal minority of black women. Let me repeat that again. What I notice is that you have a vocal minority of black women, and these women constantly complaining. The reason why it's a vocal minority of black women and I mean biological women, because many of them aren't culturally women, is because the good women don't have this problem. That's what you have to understand. If you constantly are facing certain types of problems, well, then you need to reanalyze, okay, and address maybe this is a me problem. Because this black woman is perfectly fine with her husband, who has all the protection in the world. This black woman is perfectly fine with her husband, who has all the protection in the world. This black woman, that black woman. So you are in the vocal minority. Now, just because you are the vocal, right, the vocal minority, it makes or it gives off the illusion that you are the majority. In many cases, if a black woman is doing fine with her man, she's not going to tell you. She's going to keep it to herself. She's going to keep it quiet. And they're going to live their life in peace. But it's usually the people who are always having issues with their man, issues with this, issue with that are the most vocal and constantly complaining. And they skew the perspective of what's actually going on in the community. Once again, in order for you to get protection from the group, you have to qualify as a woman, culturally speaking. That means if you going tit for tat with a man, he's clearly wilding out for whatever reason, which then disqualifies him from a man. Let me just be clear on that. If you don't know as far as what a man is, then you need to figure that out before you go out into the world. Call up a friend, ask for a mentor, pay for a seminar. I don't care what you have to do. Figure that out. Because if you going out in this world, you can't distinguish a man from a woman, then that's a you problem. And that's going to lead to you putting yourself in dangerous situations. Because there are ignorants out there. And they come in all shapes and sizes. There are black ignorants, white ignorants, Asian ignorants. There are male ignorants, female ignorants, and everything else in between with the alphabet. So you need to understand who you are talking to. If you don't, that is dangerous. That is potentially life-threatening. So if you, as a woman, are talking to someone or in an argument with someone, and this person is not behaving as a man should, because no man is going to put them in a situation that's going to lead them to either put hands on them, catch a case, or anything that's going to deprive them of their freedom. We already have that as it is in this country. So we're not going to add any more nonsense or foolishness on top of that. We already have enough on the plate. So if you're going tit for tat with someone and now they've lost control, as a woman, you're not even going to put yourself in that situation. That's not what you are going to do. You are going to walk away. You are going to de-escalate. Do everything you can to get out of the situation. Because, mind you, sometimes trouble finds you, right? We've all been there where trouble finds you and you have to deal with it. It's been placed at your door, your doorstep. Now you have to handle the situation. Understandable. But there are ways a woman handles the situation, a cultural woman handles the situation, and an ignorant. The cultural woman gets protection of the group because she is fulfilling her role as a woman. The woman who's just a biological woman and you can't tell the difference between who's the man and who's the woman, she gets no protection because you do not qualify. You have not met the prerequisite for protection. And that's many times what I often see. Is that you'll have a woman get in an argument with a man, she's pushing him or putting hands on him or saying a whole bunch of outlandish, asinine things, and she doesn't understand that she's not dealing with a man. She's dealing with a biological man, but everything else, he's a woman. He's an ignorant. So she's going to get an ignorant reaction. And in response, he's going to get an ignorant reaction. So in the meantime, between time, you have two ignorants. Now, you can't play the switch-up game. That's what many people try to do. Right? You'll have a man who's an ignorant and he'll behave like an ignorant, but when he gets in trouble, he'll try to turn into a gentleman. Oh, you know what? I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, baby. I love you and all this. No, you already exposed yourself. You're an ignorant. Thank you. Bye-bye. The same thing happens with a woman where she wants to act like a man. If you act like a man, you are going to get treated like a man. This is something, as I said, good women, black women, understand. Black women who are culturally women and not just biological women understand. They understand the power of their femininity. This is something, unfortunately, that the vocal minority seems to not, it doesn't click. They don't understand the power they have. But if you are now behaving like a man, then that trigger response for the man for protection, that's not going to get triggered. So you are going to find yourself in a situation that in many cases you wrote a check that your butt can cash. And now you look into everyone else. Why aren't you protecting me? Why aren't you protecting me? Because you haven't qualified for protection. You just don't get free protection when you don't uphold your part of the bargain. And that's what many women have been falsely led to believe. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe, Lucas, that's some simp talk. You got to protect all women at all costs, no matter what. It doesn't matter. That's what you do as a man. Or if you have believed, no, that's not what you do as a man, okay? That's what you do as an ignorant, all right? A man has certain roles and certain duties to fulfill, and a woman has certain roles and duties to fulfill. If you don't qualify for those roles or duties and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, then you are not a man. Biologically, you are a man, yes. Biologically, she is a woman, yes. But she is not culturally obligated to get the protection, and you're not culturally obligated to protect. I don't know why we thinking about protecting all the ignorant in the community. That's not how that works. Now, nevertheless, if you happen to disagree, you're more than welcome to call in during disagreement days, which are typically held Friday through Sunday. There'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it out. Either or, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you all think. Subscribe. All that fun stuff. And until next time, guys, be amazing. To which I say, we do.